Yes. Yes, sir. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, sir. How about you?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. I think the streaming is already live. All right. Hello
Yes.
everyone. Welcome to success story of Shruti. She has done certified data scientist. Is it certified data scientist or CDA?
Yes. Yes. Certified data.
Certified CDS course from DataMites, and now she has been placed in BPL Industry.ai as a visual analyst. And
Yes.
today we are here to learn from our experience and understand what it takes to be cross that bar to actually get into the career, right? I'll start with congratulating her. Congratulations, Shruti.
Yes, sir. Very thank you. I'm
Yeah.
so happy and glad that I was a part of Rubik's and data Mites, so that
Oh,
I'm able to achieve my endeavor here.
wonderful. So we'll start with your quick profile. So you can introduce
Yes.
yourself, what was your profile, and then yeah, we can take it forward. Please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Shruti, and I basically did my bachelor's in electrical and electronics, and I did my master's in power system engineering, which is purely electrical background. I'm from purely electrical background, and after which I had quite 1 year of experience in IoT and machine learning projects in one of the company called Quantanics Private Limited at Madurai. And after which I took a long break. So I really wanted to restart my career. So I decided to take this certified data scientist course at DataMites and their internship. After which, after through the course and all uh, learning process, I attended proper 3 interviews and I got placed in the third. So I'm so happy and I'm
Great.
out of words because this was my dream. I really wanted to restart my career after that long break.
Right. Thank you very much. Shruti, you said you had a long break. How many years was it?
Not exactly years, basically 10 to 11 months because of maternity leave.
Oh, that is quick, actually. People take 3 to 4 years break. Your maternity doesn't just end at delivering a
Yeah,
baby. It goes on for a few more
yes,
years.
of course.
I,
Yes,
I,
it
I guess
was
you're
hard for me for me to manage both the things, but still, I really wanted this. I don't want to
resume
take
your
my
career.
time.
I think
Yes,
you, I think your family is very supportive in that case, isn't it?
sure, sure. Yes, yes. My spouse is completely supportive.
That's good to know. So before you decided to take data science as a career, what was your skill level? How is your statistics, Python?
No, basically, I'm not from such background, so I don't have in-depth knowledge in ML or statistics or even in Python. I just worked in quite 2 or 3 projects which involved this programming languages. So I didn't have a strong core knowledge. That's why I decided to take up this course.
Okay. Okay. So this is also very important for a lot of people because many people assume that these skills are prerequisite, right?
Yes.
So you're one of the proofs that you can actually learn these skills. When did you join DataMites as which batch are you from?
I'm from March 2023, sir.
Oh, okay. So which means you recently completed your course, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I the course structure completed by December 2023, and I get into this pattern by January.
January. So it's about 3 months, roughly. You got into less than 3 months to you got into a job. Very good. So so it took how much time it took for you to get a hang of Python? I ask this question to everyone, all the people who got successful. Just because I believe Python is an easy language. What do you think? How much time it took for you?
Yes, that's true. It's completely user friendly, not like of Java or C++. wherein we dive into that language, we find syntax complicated, not that type. And moreover, in particular with data science, I would say that is so simple to learn. If you understand the concept, you are easy to go with the flow of the language. It is not at all a big deal.
So for a people who does not have any background in Python, what do you think? How long it will take for them to learn? How many weeks you think from your perspective?
Maximum of a strain of 1 month, that's all, maybe up to their own level. But if they practice daily, it's more than 3 weeks, they'll be comfortable with the language.
Okay, so that's important. That's coming from you because I can say anything, but someone who doesn't have a Python, who learned Python and successful, vouching for it actually gives a lot of confidence to who are actually who wanted to pursue in this area. Good.
Yes.
So, what is your comment on other areas, statistics and machine learning? How do you feel? How difficult it is for someone who doesn't have any background in them?
Yes, I would rate myself like statistics. I'm not till now. I'm not the threat only. Like I didn't dive deep into it also. Whatever concepts are needed for the things that we should learn to understand the ML algorithms and their process. That alone I focused. And ML algorithms, that I focused completely, how algorithm works, what are all the mathematics, simple mathematics behind each algorithm. Those things I focused. I I would say I took 2 months to completely understand all the basics, only the basics of all the algorithms, ML.
Okay, so ML took 2 months for you to understand the basics. Implementing is straightforward, isn't it? It's a very
Yes,
similar process you do for almost all the algorithms.
yes, sir.
Okay. So roughly I could say it took about few weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for statistics, 3 weeks to 4 weeks for Python, and about 2 months for machine learning. And there are other things, including your Power BI, Tableau, and many other things,
Right. Yes.
which takes about a month. So about 4 to 5 months is what anyone can become a decent skill level for a data science
Yeah,
or
sure. Yes.
okay. How many hours you put in per day from when you're learning? How many
Yeah,
hours?
yes, I would say like when the course is on, the course is itself for 2.5 hours, and I would barely spend 2 hours again to actually revise those concepts, get into that concepts, whatever is taught. But once the courses get over, like when they completed this advanced machine learning algorithms and all, after that, it was like all into tools and SQLs. So I spent less time on that, and I spent 1.5 hours in the morning and 1.5 hours in the evening to completely learn again those ML algorithms alone. So that's how I
Yeah,
took. Barely I will spend 4 hours a day to study.
so 3 to 4 hours on your own, and then another 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours for the
For
classes, right?
yes,
So
yes,
roughly 5 to 6 hours you're spending
six
overall.
hours. Yes,
That's
that
full
was
time.
difficult for me because I want to look after for my daughter
Babies.
and family goals also. Most of the time I will sit after 10 only. I will sit after 10 for 3 hours and then
Really admire your determination, right? Because it's
yes,
I know because I have a lot of my family members who are passing through this phase what you are passing through, and most people actually rest. You kind of pulled off 5 to 6 hours a day. It's really shows that how passionate you are. That's good. So with someone who doesn't have any background, neither in statistics or Python or even in machine learning, about 5 hours a day roughly for about 4 months is what
yes,
all it takes, right? Even
yes,
for an
sure.
average person. Um,
Yeah, sure.
how is the job market? So you are lucky to get free calls within 2 months after you completed your course, right? All arranged
Yes.
by DataMites placement team.
Yeah. Yes. All
Okay.
the interviews are from DataMites Institute.
Okay.
The very first interview was from one company and they asked for ML engineer. wherein they were asking all these APIs, React APIs, web frameworks that I was not aware, so I was not able to clear the
Clear.
second level of interview. And the second interview was up to data analyst job. That is also which was I not prepared with SQL queries or something.
Right.
So I just I didn't clear the that interview also. And after which the third one was BLP. So
People industry.
this,
Yeah.
this one I was
Yes, able to
able
clear.
to clear it. Yes.
So a lot of people actually say this. SQL is really important, both for data scientists and data analysts, isn't it? Any interview you go, SQL questions are being asked regularly, right?
Mm,
What kind of
definitely.
questions they asked? I know you did not clear it, but do you still remember what questions being asked?
Yes, but those were simple only, but I was not prepared. More of other questions was uh in joins,
Hmm.
in a join, how to join.
Yeah.
So most of the time
I'll ask about
I
join.
was yes.
And
So
it's actually
joins
gives
only is the basic thing that we have to get prepared.
yeah. So what is in SQL, right? Select with joins. Anything you do. So it's
Yes,
the two major things. Of course, connecting the database, you will anyway find the snippet, right? So you can
yes,
connect from either Python or any other tool. What you
yes,
do in SQL is essentially retrieving data as a data scientist. You're not really putting data or modifying data. You only query data, isn't it?
yes,
And when you
yes,
query data, it's about how do you structure this select query with the joins is what actually important. Okay, that's also very important for the people who are listening to this. SQL, though you don't really, you're not a data engineer, right? But you need to know the fundamentals, essential SQL, because many a times you are expected to query the data directly by yourself, right? Because
yes,
data is always there in some data centers and some databases. So you're expected to query. So SQL knowledge becomes essential knowledge for data scientists and data analysts. Okay, good. So what are the other questions you find difficult? Shuruti, right? What's your name? Shuruti?
Suruthi, Suruthi.
Shuruti. Okay, please go ahead. What are the other questions you might you found a bit difficult, challenging?
Uh, I will not say it is challenging. I would say it is lack of preparation. Like we focus on something only on some concepts that we are strong or we are lagging. So apart from that, if any questions is being asked, we are not able to deliver it.
Hmm.
Most of the interviews focus only on the basic technical things. They just need the basic thing, basic syntax you need, or the basic template if something is needed. On that, they will give you some logics that is to be solved by us. So a basic knowledge of every concept is needed, and you put on your logical or analytical skill to solve that question. That's all. So, uh, and I found difficult, I would say, this web scraping things was there. Some interviews and some JDs were mentioning about Python web scraping also. And from DataMites also, they took some sessions to make students get aware of that. But I was not really interested, and I was also not able to get the concepts easily. So I found that was difficult for me.
Um, If scrapping is important, again, we use Beautiful Soup in Python or
Yes.
similar packages. There are many of them. Beautiful Soup is one of the highly used package for web scrapping. The reason they do that because if you join a retail company as a data scientist, one of the things they do, they actually scrap the information from the competitor's website. It could be a price of the product or whatever it is, right? And then they use it automatically to dynamically price their things. For example, if you want to buy a phone, it's coming around, let's say, 9,900 in your competitor. And if in your company site, if you're also doing the same retail sales, if you put it 100 rupees less, um, it's 100 rupees a less amount, very small amount. But people do buy from your site because phone is the same anywhere you buy it. Even if you save a really small amount, right? Amazon plays this strategy a lot because India is a price sensitive. This is one use case. In a similar manner, we also have a lot of corporate intelligence trying to understand how is the industry, how is the competitor. Now we are talking about regional tensions. There are actually some jobs, the companies which is in Europe who is actually spying in China. A lot of work, 80% of the work is scrapping. And then when you scrap this huge amount of data, and then you build a lot of data silos, pipelines, and then you process the data, use machine learning algorithms, and then get into a dashboard, which makes sense. And this dashboard is dynamic. So a lot of use cases need data scrapping, even though they may not be using right away. But data scrapping is a very useful skill. So I would say it has become more useful now. It's as useful as SQL. So that's another very good point. If you don't know, then it only takes few weeks time for most of the people who are listening to this. You already crossed that bar, so you can learn at your leisure. But someone who is trying to cross that bar, I think web scraping is also an important aspect to do. Any questions you got in you got in your interviews on statistics specifically? Statistics questions?
Not really, sir. No,
Not much.
the past two interviews and this interview also, I didn't get any of the statistics questions.
Anything about your project? How was your project and those kind of questions?
Yes, her projects was there. Like every single project and every algorithm that I worked, they mentioned it specifically and asked some of the questions like what are the hyperparameters you did and how was the training model built and all. So that was there. About the project, every interview I had questions.
Yeah, makes sense. Even when I do the interview, because if you really look at what you do, you get the data, you basically feed it to a model, machine learning predictive model, or whatever model it is. You get the results and display it in a way people find it useful, right? If you did a project, if I want to hire a person, one thing I'm interested is to see whether whatever mentioned on the resume, whether they have done it, and what is
Yeah,
their contribution in that project. Because a lot
in
of
that project.
yeah, so a lot of people put a quite lengthy resume with many projects in it, right? When you start asking the question, I mean, most people do not mention what is their role. It's very important to mention what role you played on. You can say there's a project with 3 people or 4 people or 5, and then I have did this contribution in this project. That's really important. We're just mentioning the project title and the description of the project. We don't have a clue, right? Of course, may get an interview call, but sometimes you don't even get an interview call because it's in a very vague level.
Yeah,
So in the
yes,
in the in the interview, they'll ask about your contribution, and they specifically ask about did you find any challenges in doing the project? If yes, how did you solve it? Because if you put that reply, the response will give a very easy way for us to analyze whether you have done it or not. Because
yes,
we know
yes.
more than 50% people may not actually did it with full involvement, but they'll be part of the project somehow. So that is very important. So whenever people who are listening to this, whenever you're going for an interview, if you mention a project there, you should be very prepared about the project. What is the project goal, specifications or objectives to be more precise? Where do you get the data from? What kind of models you have used in the project? How did you fine tune it? What are the challenges you faced? And what is specific your contribution in the project? You can also talk about the client's interactions if that is necessary. And this much you have to be prepared when you mention. It is not about whether you put 5 or 6 projects on your resume. Even if you put 1 or 2, you should be well prepared for the 1 or 2 because interviewer is going to ask about the project. Very good. Anything else, Saruthi, you want to share with the people who are so there are a lot of people like you, by the way. Say, I've been interacting with many aspirants past 7 years. Significant of them come to a category, right? You had marriage or
Yeah,
the maternity, and then they have a small break. You have a small break. People have 4 to 5 years break, and they want to resume, right? Anything specific message you want to give? Yeah.
I would I would say not only to people who are restarting their career, to everyone who think of some task, be persistent and consistent. That's all. Because I really make sure, like 4 hours a day, I will make sure that 4 hours a day. Not even half an hour I will sacrifice. It will be pressured for me. Sometimes I would feel like I quit this, I will not do this. But still, I will be persistent in sitting up for this 4 hours and uh, take up things, tasks on your own. Not only the course structure or not don't stick on to whatever is taught on that day. Simple concepts, maybe a simple built-in functions. But that built-in function can be used in different use cases, with mm, different objectives. So explore those things so that you will be more aware, and whenever you go to an interview you can actually say, you can implement that function for a different objective which you have not worked with. So that would be my suggestion.
Wonderful. So the message is be very disciplined in your learning. If you say 4 hours, put 4 hours every day, 4 hours every day. But I have to add little bit more on it. 4 hours of learning time, because when you're learning,
Yes.
say you're watching for a machine learning algorithm in YouTube, then suddenly some other video will pop up. You like it, you watch it, and then it goes to another video, and then you're doing some news things and some Bollywood things, and then oh, okay, my 4 hours is done. But that's not 4 hours, right? So the 4 hours
Yes.
of
4 hours of
actual
learning, active
actual
learning.
study, active
Yes.
learning. Okay. I have no questions. I'm very happy for you. I wish you all the best. I'll open the channel for others to ask questions. I think a lot of people joining from LinkedIn as well. I asked DataMites team, request them to copy paste, and I'm going to open the 1 second. Let me see. Yeah, everyone can now put the questions either in the chat box or on the question and answer section. If you have any questions you would like to clarify from Suruthi, you can. Now it's open, so you can ask questions. If you want to speak out, you want to ask over the mic, you can raise your hands. That's also fine. Then we should be able to unmute or give you permission to speak out. I have one question from Sundaram Srinivasan. Is it easy to handle big data in machine learning?
Yes, of course. That's the main uh, that's the main thing of machine learning. Like you can handle any number of data in machine learning.
Right.
It is so supportive. This machine learning algorithm will handle any number of data.
Right. So, Sundaram, to be more precisely answer, what she said is correct. That's the whole point of machine learning. It can handle big data, but it's not about the ML algorithm. It's about the infrastructure. What server you're using, what's your memory, what's your RAM capacity. And there is no such technical limitation for it. If you can increase, if you have an auto scaling, let's say in cloud services like AWS or Azure, there is no limitation. You get a bigger bill, of course. You're using more resources, but you can handle any amount of data. Okay. And people might ask you in the interview. That's a good question. Anything else? I don't know if someone is watching the LinkedIn anchor. If so, I would request watch if there is any questions coming from LinkedIn or YouTube, and then put it back here. A question from Robert. Do you need continuous practice for? Do you need continuous practice of machine learning? Okay. Answer, of
Yes,
course.
sir.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I focus mainly on the algorithm, totally on them. So continuous practice is something.
Correct. So I just want to add it. I know we have this tendency in India, especially, right? You work hard, you get a government job or whatever job, and you don't work afterwards, right? So most of the people, ironically, aim for that. They are ready to work very, very hard just to become lazy after, right? I don't think that's possible anywhere in the world now, because the world is changing really fast. In whatever field you go, you are expected to keep yourself up to date. You have to continuously learn. It is true for a fresher, true for me. I'm more than 2.5 decades now in the industry, but I still have to learn. And that's the only way I stay on top of my career, right? So
Uh, there are multiple questions asking about how many interviews rounds you had at this BLP Industry earlier. I had one round of online assessment based on Python programming language, and two rounds of technical rounds based on all things like Python, ML, deep learning as well, computer vision, basic computer visions also there. That was question. And then one HR round, which is a management round to check your attitude and personality.
standard. So this question is coming from
Yes.
Malinath Ale from LinkedIn. I have another question just above from Dinesh Kumar. There is a rumor that freshers don't get a chance in data science career in India. What do you think about it? I can take that question. I
Yes.
hire freshers myself. I think I am more eligible to answer that. I'll give a very simple way to find it out by yourself. If you go to any portal, Monster, Naukri, or LinkedIn, you type in data science jobs, and there'll be a tick saying that freshers or beginners or interns. You will see 50% of the jobs are actually for fresh and beginners, right? And I don't have to say that to you. Uh, there's also a tendency, again, right? Psychology. Normally, freshers, they fail in the interviews. They say, oh, freshers don't get a job. But the irony again is that interview is for freshers, right? Out of 10 people going there, maybe one guy is anyway selected. That guy is a fresher. Nine people will claim that, oh, I'm a fresher, I didn't get a job. It's just trying to give an excuse for themselves. It's not a rumor, it's more like an excuse to justify that you failed. But it's always better to own that you failed and look at where you failed and learn. To make it more simple, to answer a question, when I hire a team for projects, usually one or two are seniors and 3 to 4 are beginners and freshers. I do that because for any project, you need to also look at the cost. A senior data scientist will cost a lot of money. And also they may not be interested doing the data preparation work. So we need juniors, freshers for doing some base work, which is cleaning the data and stuff, and they are low cost, right? So that also makes a very good sense. It makes economic sense. So that's rumor is completely baseless. I have another question from, okay, this is the same question. Okay. I have a question from Hazrat Ali Khatib from YouTube. Hello, I'm from non-IT background. Is it going to be tough in data science? Okay, you answer.
Yes, I'm from pure electrical. Like I didn't know electronics. I'm completely from electrical background, which is non-IT. I'm not a programmer. I don't know coding. So, but I ended up here because of after this COVID and all these things. So it is not going to be that tough. It depends upon your uh, interest and how much effort you put on that.
Just to add to that, that's a precise answer. Um, it's all about crossing that bar of skill level, right? So if you're below that, you find it tough. I'm not gonna tell you otherwise. I'm not gonna say everyone who is learning data science will land up in a job. I'm not sure. Maybe 50% will land up over a period of time. 30% from my experience will land up within 6 months. And another 20% will land up, irrespective of whatever institute you join, whatever university you learn, right? This is a very common pattern. Someone says 100% you get into a job, it is easy. Please don't believe it. That's just bullshit. So you consistently learn, as Suruthi says, right? Focus on your subjects, statistics, Python, machine learning. Do a lot of projects, attend interviews, learn again, and keep on learning again. So it is not going to be easy, especially 2024. There are a lot of people in the market. 5 years ago, it was relatively easy. Even if you know very basic, people used to take. Right now, people want to know whether you can actually do the project end to end. Right? That's a minimum criteria. And are you clear on the basics? So 6 to 8 months of hard work is required. And if you think that's tough, then yes, it is tough, but it is doable. A question from Shashi Ranjan. My question is to Ashok sir. Okay. AI can replace data analysts. This is a question I'm getting almost in every where I go. Keynote speeches, webinars, and boot camps. Answer is yes and no. Very simple. The basic descriptive analytics. Let's say I give a data. I want to know what is the sales, and even your chat GPT can do it. You upload a data set, you ask some questions. You can ask what is the trend, what percentage of the profit, what categories of products actually sold better this year when compared to last year. All of this can be done by a robot, a chat GPT, Gen AI tools, right? So you don't need data analysts for that. If you go 10 years, a decade before, for these things, you need a team of data analysts to do it for you, right? So from that perspective, the number of jobs doing a basic data analyst work will be shrinking very fast, and it might even disappear. So, well, then don't you have a job for data analyst? Yes, we do, but that will be in a different level. There's a lot of data analysis work which requires human sense, business sense, which cannot be automated. And sometimes it's not the analysis, it's the data itself. Because most of the time, 50% plus, your time and effort goes in getting the data, cleaning it. And that is really, it requires human sense, right? So the number of jobs will reduce, but the requirement is actually going even faster than that. Net effect, I think the data analyst jobs will grow, and that is not I'm saying. It's there in your McKinsey reports, World Economic Forum, US labor reports. You can Google for it. They predict about 40 to 50% growth of data analyst jobs year on year for next 5 to 6 years. That's a precise answer for a question. But in that 50% growth, there is actually, I don't know, more than 100% growth, and then there is a reduction because of the automation, right? So net is always growing. You don't have to worry about it. Question from Sundaram again. As an analyst, what type of data almost we handle, structured, unstructured? Question for you. As an analyst, what kind of data you handle, structured or unstructured?
Completely unstructured data. Data will come in any kind of format. Even you will get them text, images, videos even. You will have to handle it according to the objective or the use case. You have to handle it and then convert them as needed.
Precisely. I'm not going to add anything. That answers the question. I have another question. If the interviewer asks you why you selected career in data science, what would be your answer?
Okay. What I answered was in the previous experience, I had two projects that I worked in ML, and my graduation projects, both in bachelor's and master's, I did in ML and deep learning. So I really had an interest in this machine learning and deep learning, but I didn't dive deep directly into AI engineer course or ML engineer course. I took a groundwork and came to know, like, first step, we have to know what data is and how we are going to handle them. That is the first step. Either a AI engineer or ML engineer that he or she is going to work should know. So I selected this data scientist career. So this course I selected on this basis, and I had this career change. This is what my answer was.
Okay, very good diplomatic answer. If I'm an interviewer, I would also like to hear answers like, you know what, this is the best career, pays a lot of money, and also interesting. That's a fairly good answer, because most people look for a career which is interesting, paying high money, isn't it? You can't deny that, right?
Yes.
You could also say from birth, when I was like 2 years, I looked at the data, made some things. You can say that, all of that, but I'm not going to believe that, right? So simple underlining thing, this career path is more future proof, which means it's a less chance that the job, it'll be more stable, and it has more scope, growth, it's paid higher, and also it is interesting. That actually simply takes care of that. Okay. I take this interviews, right? When I take developer interviews, or sometimes business analysts, or sometimes sales profiles, a lot of people I normally don't select them. When they tell stories about, this is my dream, this is my passion from childhood, I'm dreaming about it, I don't buy it, right? It could be true for some of the people. I'm not denying it, but you could make it out whether it is true or they're making it up. So be very straightforward. Why data science? Because your big brother told that is good job. You can go to US. That's a pretty good answer. That's a pretty good answer. Okay. I think we are done with the questions. Anything else, everyone? Okay, so I have another question here. As I looked into the platforms like LinkedIn, Naukri, I see only top companies are hiring DS, but I have idea working on the startup. Oh, okay. So you can find it in Naukri. And if you're looking for startup, I would say even you go to the startup websites. Startups, they'll also put it on their own pages, right? In LinkedIn, you search it for data science. You will find 1,000, 2,000 jobs. Which is coming at the top really depends on keywords, search engine optimization, maybe the money they're putting in terms of LinkedIn marketing, right? So you can't really find the jobs just by generally searching it. And also, when you say startup, you should narrow down to what kind of startup you want to work. You should know them by name. You can simply find it by searching and looking from directories. And even for, there are a lot of ways you can get in touch with startups, events outside in Bangalore, if you're in Bangalore, any other city. You do a more detailed work. You want to become a data scientist, you cannot just do on a periphery work. So you have to really have a list of companies who would love to work for, study what they're doing, look at their potential in terms of value addition to the business or the customers they're trying to build some solutions for, and then you go and apply on their website. I personally, someone applies from my website, I'll give very high preference than someone applying from Naukri or LinkedIn. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Suruthi, I wish you all the best. The last sentence I take to everyone is just a beginning. So, and you're very disciplined, so I don't have to tell you. So you keep on learning, and I wish you all the best. Grow really fast in your career. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.